I heard these two over here talking about the weather, so I'll open with a little something about how the fall is finally here in November, which is weird. This thing is called Everything is Red. If you really think about it, what's more heavy metal than leaf peeping? Driving out far into the countryside, observing the autumn. Let's get in the car and watch the leaves die, it's so brutal. Let's go out and crunch around in the corpses of leaves. Let's bear witness to the death of the trees. It's real heavy metal. The sun is a little less each day. Let's go get a pumpkin and disembowel it along the way. Maybe we'll purchase apples crushed to give up their blood. We'll jump in leaf corpses to prove the depths of our love. Let's get some pancakes and drown them in tree fluid. We'll put on cloaks and hand out food just like druids. It's just really hardcore is what I'm saying. It's like a day trip into the darkest, blackest heavy metal. Driving out in the hills to look at the dead things before they rot away. That's brutal. That's so brutal. That's one thing.
Woo!
Thank you so much, as always, to Paige for hosting, to Old Sal's for letting her host. A lot of cool stuff is coming up for me. The 18th of this month, at the Tram, I'm emceeing a comedy show. Ed Smythe, who you've had here before, that professorly kind of comic from the Albany area. He's bringing a few comics out there, so if you want to do a comedy thing in Utica, do that on the 18th. And 25th, I'm emceeing for a jam band, the Tame the Giant at Utica Brews. Nice. You might want to make that. And of course, probably most of the people in this room already know about the Tramiversary at Stanley, January 14th. I get to do some announcing and one or two comedy poems, and I think probably like a third of the room is at least asking those guys to see if they can be involved. So that's awesome. I just wanted to share some awesome stuff with you guys. This is a piece I wrote about the film that was filming here for like 2 days. This is called The Visitation from the Man in the Television. As a kid, you eat candy on Halloween. Then you probably get cavities down the road. As an adult, I got a cavity drilled at my dentist in Ilion on Halloween. And I don't get to eat candy at all because I have to be low carb now so that they won't chop off my feet when I'm 50. And I'm just saying Peter Pan may have had an idea there not growing up. I'm just saying here.
Amen.
Having worked feature films twice in my life, in what seems like a different life when I lived in LA, it's weird to nominally be on the other side now, not locking down sets from randos for the brandos, being out with the civilians walkie-talkie-less. The guy who played Jim on The Office was doing 2 days of location shooting for some new horror movie on Main Street of Little Falls, because it turns out if you want to have a spooky, abandoned, decrepit city space, you don't have to change a whole lot about our little town to look like a ghost town. So yeah, yes, I guess. You put up some ripped flags, you lay down some dirt and grass, and there you go. Voila et voici. Movie magic. It tickled me to see the little yellow and black plastic signs with the production's working title and the arrows telling the crew where to park. Like you'd see nearly every day when I lived in LA, just for one time. Just one time here in the littlest of falls. And I really wanted to steal one of the signs as a souvenir. Oh, blazing yellow and black Abbott sign in my attic. But I'm not a mischievous little boy anymore. I'm a responsible man now. So I didn't. And I'm just saying Peter Pan may have had an idea there never growing up. I'm just saying here. Driving home from the dentist in Ilion, passing the looky-loos and looky-louises that stood in the rain, queued up to see if the gods in the TV set actually wear flesh like us from time to time. I guess I've walked both sides of the line, and I think that I've held stride fetching cigarettes for the rich and the famous, held stride being an actual person as well. At least I think I have. Still, the whole thing makes me feel even more liminal than I usually do. I've walked both sides of the line, and it seems as weird to see people so concretely on one side or the other. Film or reality, crew or looky-loo. So weird to see people think they're only on one side of anything. I don't think there's any two sides to anything. There's no gods or monsters or ones or zeros or males or females or X's or O's. Nothing that is completely so. But it sure looks like it when you're watching the Olympic gods and goddesses briefly touch breezes shared with looky-loos and looky-louises. It was easier maybe to think such distinctions really did exist between this sodden earth and Never Never Land. Like that lucky little Peter Pan. I have an idea for a horror movie, and it's about a small town that feels exploited by a horror movie filming there at the end of the Halloween season. And then the crew starts disappearing. Maybe the owner of the local hotel felt shafted by the crew's group rate and is out for blood and popcorn in Nightmare on Main Street. It's funny, but it's maybe too meta, you know. They'd love it in New York or LA, but no one here on the flyover would care to see it except in the towns where it was filmed. And all they would care about was seeing the places where they really live up on that big magic screen. And they'd feel like gods and goddesses for a little while. Either way, if I went to the show, I wouldn't get to eat Twizzlers, so that when I'm 50, the doctors won't cut my toes off. Unlike Peter Pan, who gets to eat his sweet peanut butter forever. At least in the movies he does.
Woo.
Do I have time for one or two more short things?
Probably one.
Okay, one more. This one's a little less wistful, but it's still kind of wistful. Thank you all for listening, I appreciate it. Please keep coming back to this. It supports a great place, and everyone here is really damn cool. It's called A Twist of the Knife. In 20 years, my email accounts will still be receiving junk mail from stores where I bought presents for ex-girlfriends. When I am dead, my email will still be receiving junk mail from stores where I bought presents for ex-girlfriends. When the sun explodes in iron and fire at the end of time, my email will still be receiving junk mail from stores where I bought presents for ex-girlfriend. Tomorrow, my email accounts will probably receive at least one piece of junk mail from stores where I bought presents for ex-girlfriends. And it still hurts a little. And it will always hurt a little. Not nearly as much as it used to. Not all that much, but just enough to feel it.
Yeah.
Just enough to know there's something in the past that belongs back there to lay in the dust of time, but capitalism just keeps bringing it on back in hopes of squeezing just another 20 bucks out of poor old Mike. Commerce sticks a knife in for just another little twist, but maybe just the tip. Only just the tip. Thank you.
Woo.
Love hearing Mike's stories. I love it. Except it's reminding me of Christmas presents that I have to buy. Actually, I have like half of my Christmas shopping done already, and I'm really proud of myself. So, woohoo!